The first stage, the arena where each competitor has equal footing to make their mark. The first line of defense against those who chase glory. This is where all your hard work, dedication, and endless training will be put to the test. You've theorized and hypothesized how you could withstand this test for what seems like ages, but now you're here. You're on the starting line. All the questions are about to be answered. You feel your hands shake a moment, but this is no time for doubts. Alright, 1 minute and 30 seconds to complete the course. Best of luck. 3, 2, 1. It's time to jump. Hello everybody, and welcome to the long-awaited Jump Tournament 3. In the last tournament, we had a good deal of success with 10 Stage 1 clears, and 8 of those Stage 1 clears making it all the way to Stage 3. Our tournament last time, just like the one before, ended on the last obstacle of Stage 3, so it'll be interesting to see if maybe we're going to have a little bit more success in this tournament. But it's a long way off, as this tournament, instead of 25 competitors as we did in the last two, we're going to have 50. Now, the first stage, due to everybody crushing it last time, has been greatly renovated. See, first off, we have the brand new quintuple steps, which lead into the modified giant swing, which is much harder than it was in previous tournaments. After the giant swing, they're going to go straight into the rolling log, which is brand new for this tournament, and I expect it to have some shocking results. After the rolling log, we finally, the jump team, which is me and my cat, we caved to your demands, and we got rid of the catapult. Yes, please keep your applause down. Instead, we have the rib cage, which is an interesting obstacle in which you can choose two alternating paths. You can either go straight down the middle, or you can go on the sides, or a mix of the two. But either way, you are going to end up hitting that trampoline at the end and going through that head slide. After the rib cage, we have our only unmodified returning obstacle, which is the tilting tables. And after the tilting tables, you're going to go into another new obstacle, the flying skip. It's similar to the rib cage in that there are two different ways to beat it, by either landing on the wedge and going straight through the head slide, or going on the pipe and going on the side slides, those side pieces there. You see them. If you go on the side pieces, it'll give you a little bit of a jump start into our last obstacle, the rope climb. And if you can get through those wonderful obstacles in a minute and a half, you will move on to Stage 2. So, without further ado, how about we go down to the course and see what's going on for our first run. Alright, and first up on the course, we have the man who sports what is just about my favorite gamer tag I've ever seen in my life, Gibby House, in all capital letters. He's onto the quadruple steps, and he looks pretty solid. He's landing pretty squarely on those. A little bit low down, but he looks a little confused. He's looking around for a little bit of assistance, but nevertheless, he is on to the giant swing. He's the first to attempt this brand new version of this. It was much easier in the last tournament, but let's see if Gibby House has what it takes. He's really confused. He's asking for help. He shall not receive any, and he takes an angle, lands right on the middle of it. He's actually on it, and he's still on it. He's asking for more help. He doesn't know what to do. He could just go, but he's not going to. He's looking at me. Nope. And he is off. That was disgusting. What a way to start Tournament 3. Alright, we're on to Making Bacon Pancakes, another great gamer tag in its own right, and he is disqualified. This tournament is going great so far. And he fails the third step. Alright, so let's go on to our third run here. This is Mr. Caden Bogard. His legend is known far and wide throughout the jumping community. You might have seen him on other courses. He's a very determined competitor. This is his first attempt on the jump. So he's on to the giant swing. Let's see if he can handle it. Lands right in the middle, hangs on the back. He is through and on to the rolling log. What approach is he going to take here? He hits the front of it. He gets a good roll going. All right, he's staying on the front. Looks like he's got great balance, a great rhythm going here. He can dismount now. He jumps a little bit too late. That kind of jump is going to do nothing but propel you offwards. So, is offwards a word? Anyway, ZZ Tadashi H, he's big into SoundClouds, and he would like people to check out his SoundCloud. I don't know what his handle on SoundCloud is, but if you can find him, more power to you. And he just runs onto the support. So, 4 runs down, and we already have 4 amazing attempts at the stage. Let's see what run number 5 can offer us. This is Skywalker 9441. Let's see if he can bring the power of the Jedi onto... Okay, well, he is... Okay, well... Now we have Shadowrun 132. Now, this is another one of those really determined kids. I believe he's from either Roblox or Minecraft. I'm not really sure what his deal is, but he trains very hard, and again, this is his debut on Jump, so let's see if he can make his mark and, you know, perhaps get a solid first stage clear here. He's onto the rolling log. Caden just failed this a couple runs ago. He gets a great jump there. That is how you want to do that technique, and he is the first one on into the rib cage. He lands right in the middle of the clover there and onto the first trampoline, and he doesn't make it to the pole. That is a precise jump, and Shadowrun just cannot quite nail it. Now we are on to our first fast forward. Let's get through this. We have HyperGamer10, who had a friend joining him, but then he slipped off the bottom of the step. We have Poppy Tomato, who may or may not have failed due to some sort of shenanigans. Whistling Beaver, who was distracted by Ump Double Ump. Dark Overlord 4478, who tried to walk up the side. Secluded Mule, who tried to save jump. But we are on to our next run. Now, after that fast forward where I could barely keep up, we have El Booker Taco. He is a host of his own course, so if you have never watched Tosuke, which I know some of you haven't, why don't you go give it a good looking at if you need something to fill that jump tournament hunger. Now, Booker Taco, he's also a pretty well-respected jumper in his own right. You can usually expect him to make it to a deep stage 1, and he has a good technique going into this rolling log. Which I am quite surprised that people are doing so good on the rolling log, because I didn't allow very much preparation for this tournament. So, and Booker is the first one on through the rib cage on into the tilting tables. You see what I mean? Booker is not known for being a, you know, elite jumper or anything, but with very little practice, he is already made it into deep stage 1. He's barely through the tilting tables, and he's onto the flying skip. Let's see his approach here. He's going to jump over the bar, hit the wedge right into the head slide, and Booker Taco is onto the rope climb. He is up it with 23 seconds left to spare, and you know, I'm a little bit surprised to see a clear this early. Booker Taco, you know, we were in Rando Land, and Booker Taco has kind of put everybody on notice here, if I do say so myself. A lot of solid, like he was just flying through the course as if he had, you know, as if he was the one that built it. Very surprising, but very impressive run out of Booker Taco. So we'll see him on the second stage, and I can't wait to see if he's got any more tricks up his sleeve. Now, on to our next run. We have the wonderful, the amazing, the not yet present Fallen Sinju. This guy, I found him in Custom Games Lobby. He's probably not going to do good. So let's see. Let's see him give it a shot. Lands on the first step, and he takes a second to hesitate. He's on to the second step, and he falls right off. Now, who are we going to have coming up next here? Someone else coming out of the sky like Fallen Sinju did. This is Fix the Wi-Fi. This guy has been around in the community, although I don't know if he has been competing for very long, but been a big fan of Halo jumping for a number of years now. And he dismantles the quadruple steps, and he's quickly onto the giant swing after only 7 seconds. Oh, a little bit of a risky land there. Kind of lands on the back of the bar. You don't really want to do that, but he makes it work. And he hits the rolling log a couple times to get it going pretty good. and he's taking a side strafe technique, which can be risky, but he is through the rolling log. Now, looks like he has an idea of how he's going to do this. He hits the trampoline, and he cannot land on the side. That is a tougher jump to do. It can save you some time, but it is risky, and Wi-Fi has showed you just exactly why. That's a little bit of a shame to see a promising jumper go out on a mid-stage one. But next we have Mel to the Ham, and I love this guy's gamertag and everything about it, but he is no longer with us. Game Show MC67, almost messed that one up. He is a new arrival in the community. You see he is not quite confident on these steps here, but he's making it work. Whatever works, doesn't matter as long as you get through the stage. I believe he is well known as a Minecraft course host, which I will admit that I did not know that that was really a thing until he told me about it. But he hits the rolling log. Now hitting that platform there, oh, and he is off. Very shaky on that log the whole time. But hitting that platform there, it's not a disqualification, but it is, you know, I ask people to not do it. But it happens. So now, here prowling around on the course, I believe this is Alpha Puma. He's just having himself a whole little celebration. He's been in the last couple tournaments. I believe in tournament 1, he might have made it to stage 2. I'd have to check my results. I was going to put the results up, and I did not. And I also did not put up a name tag, so I believe this is Alpha Puma. Anyway, he is on through the swing and on through the log. Yeah, I guess I'll have to fix that whole name tag thing in post. But on into the rib cage, Puma is getting right on the side there, and he lands onto the platform like he wants. Quickly through there with 58 seconds left on the clock. This is going to save him a lot of time. And onto the tilting tables. He's done this obstacle before. Let's see if he can get a good technique. A great landing on there, getting a lot of height. He's onto the flying skip with 43 seconds left. Lands on the wedge, goes up through the middle. He's going to land right on the rope swing or rope climb and up through and clears with 32 seconds left. That is ludicrous. I could barely keep up with my commentary because he was just blazing. I have very rarely seen runs that good in any tournament at all. I mean, everything was solid. He destroyed every obstacle that he touched. This was, you know, Mad Lad Puma at his best. This is why I gave him special music in Aborigines. But Puma is through the first stage. We're going to see him on the second stage. We now have 2 clears on the day, him and Booker Taco. So, with another clear under our belt, we're going to go to another fast forward. We had Drew TV here who seemed a little bit confused. He just fell off the side of the rope climb. It was a terrifying failure. And then Goblin C4, who was in the last 2 tournaments, had some notable runs. He didn't quite know how to do the flying skip. We had Halo Fan, another big jumping of Halo, big fan of Halo jumping. Failed the rolling log. Super Ninja Jake hit his head on the flying skip, did not make it through. These fast forwards are making me have to talk faster. It's going to mess up my throat. Now we have the greatest of all time, Past Attorney 353. And what sort of commentator am I that I can't even say his gamertag right? So, he is making his way through the first obstacle, doing his very, very best. Almost slips off that last one, but he manages to save it. And he is on to the swing, and does he know what he's doing? It appears he does. He is on to the rolling log. Now, Past Attorney here, you don't often see, you know, just guys out of custom make it this far. Unfortunately, it appears he doesn't quite know what he's doing. He doesn't know how to get it going. Just punch it. Just punch it. Just punch it. All you got to do is punch it. Come on, Past Attorney. You were wasting time. You've made it so far. Please. Come on. Oh, this is killing me. This is killing me. All he has to do, and he's disqualified. That's it. That is a shame because it kind of seems like he knows what he's doing. Well, we are now on to Bones Dew, who does not. I'm sad. All right, next run. Corrupted 2114. Okay. Before I could even finish saying all the ridiculous amount of numbers in his gamer tag, he has left. Now, number 25, we have Tricky Cyrus. This man is a very well-respected jumper. Probably our first, really big, currently relevant name in this tournament. He's quickly onto the giant swing. He's making great time already. And on into the rolling log. How's he going to handle this? Very quickly, very smoothly into that. This guy is notable for recently achieving a total victory on Spartan Ninja Warrior. So that was quite exciting to watch. That means he's clearly a talented jumper. Flames course is no joke. But he is, as the camera is kind of betraying us, he is already onto the tilting tables with 46 seconds left, looking very solid. Now, remember, the key here is to land right on that red ring, and he does, gets a great amount of height. He has more than enough height to get through that. He's onto the flying skip, sprints down into it, and he doesn't get a jump. Tricky Cyrus does not manage to even properly attempt the obstacle before he is out. That is a shame, but we're on to our next fast forward. Sheldon Blackbird failed the quadruple steps, and Gucci Goober, also failed the quadruple steps. Then we had Paysage, who was another custom lobby guy, made it all the way to the rib cage, didn't quite know what he was doing. Now we had Sefer Hark, who just completely didn't even stand a chance. However you say that, he failed the giant swing. Cural Locum just completely whiffed. All right, now we are on to another notable British competitor. This is Hunter Unit 751. He has some kind of friend over there. That might be Flame Vortex. I don't really know, but let's see if that person can bring him a little bit of good luck. He cleared in the last tournament, I believe, where he went out on the... he's got a bit of lag going on here. But he went out on the vault ball, I think. I really should keep my results in front of me. But in the first tournament, he failed at this point in the stage where he failed the catapult. But it appears the ribcage cannot stump him. He is quickly on to the head slide. Now, that technique he used on the ribcage, that seems to be a pretty common technique that people are using. But Hunter, he is janking his way through this course. He is really, he's got a weird connection going right now. I don't really like it. But, he kind of frozen ropes it right there to the wedge, and he is on to the rope climb with 30 seconds left. He's climbing up. He has plenty of time. He clears with 28 seconds left on the clock. This was really just an all-around phenomenal run by a very phenomenal jumper. Hunter, there's not an obstacle on here that has any element that he's not used to. Rolling logs, he had a rolling ball back in reach on his course. This sort of thing, people, this is on Irish's course. He knows how to do that. Then the flying skip, he's done obstacles like that, rope climb. None of this is new for an experienced jumper like Hunter. And he really showed it, and he is on to stage 2. Now we have another returning competitor who is starting too early. This is Snozz, and he cleared in Tournament 1, and in Tournament 2, he did not have a great run. He failed the swing, I believe, but we're going to see how he does today. He is on through the first obstacle. He did want me to note that he did not have his morning coffee before he did this run, so he was not the same Snozz as he usually is. And Snozz is off of the giant swing? A competitor who has been on the second stage just failed the second obstacle. All of our hearts are broken. Nobody knows how to process this. Snozz was expected to make it back to stage 2 this tournament. But he's out on the giant swing. I really don't think any of us could have seen this coming, and I don't know how we're going to handle this, but we're going to have to pull through. We're going to have to do something. Snozz is out of jump 3. His chances have been dashed. But now we're on to Smokey Massacre. So this guy here, this is his first appearance because he doesn't like my course or like me apparently. So he didn't decide to show up till tournament 3 on some fashionably late sort of thing. But he is blazing onto the giant swing. People have done that first obstacle pretty fast before, but he literally sprinted with momentum through the whole thing. He's another very experienced jumper. Obviously, he has all the accolades to back him up, and this is the first time he has seen jump. And I believe that besides Aborigines, this might be the first time that Smokey has competed in any of my courses, of which I have run several. But he is quickly in onto the side of it. He better be able to jump sideways on a trampoline with that jump hang high he had for years. But with 52 seconds left, he is on to the tilting tables. Smokey is not messing around here, and he gets a great landing on that, rides the angle up. Competitors do not seem to be having an issue with the tilting tables this time around. Through the flying skip, he's going to take the top route, and that is going to save him a little bit of time, and he's going to clear with 30 seconds left on the clock. It's just barely slower than Puma, which kind of surprises me because Smokey's looked faster. I don't know where Puma saved all that time, but I mean, Smokey just destroyed this stage on his very first try, and he's definitely going to be a threat heading into stage 2. That was a ridiculous display of just kind of disrespecting my course, honestly. I'm not feeling good about it. But now that Smokey is through the course, we are on to our next fast forward. This is Decreal 2454, who falls off the side of the platform on the swing. Then we had Jono, who also went out under mysterious circumstances. He's a returning competitor. And Uril 48 went out. Mystic Ranger went out. Jin Rashinsky also went out, all on the quadruple steps. And with that, we are through our last fast forward of the day. We're on to number 40, Avows the Samurai. This is his, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is his debut. Again, I should really have my results in front of me. Maybe we'll fix that for next episode. But Avows the Samurai, quickly on through the first obstacle. He's seen things like that before. It doesn't bother him. He is on to the giant swing, which is, now that I'm thinking about it, not so giant these days. It's the diet swing now, but he's onto the rolling log, gives it a good little whack, and he's on the front of it. This is what you want to do, and then when you get right about here, you want to jump, or you can just ride it the whole way down like Vows just did. That was very solid. He's the first person to do that today. Oh my god, and he got a bad bounce off the trampoline, just barely hitting the edge of the bouncer. That will not give him the lift he needs, but nevertheless, we're on to number 41, Ump Double Ump. Now, I believe this is also Ump Double Ump's debut in jump. He competed on Ninja Paradise before, where he made it to stage 3, might have failed the cliffhanger or something. But obviously, yeah, if you watch my channel, you know who this guy is. He's the guy I co-host Aborigines with. Just check out Aborigines. Honestly, I've heard enough people talk about how great Ump Double Ump is, but I am hosting a tournament here, and he is kind of destroying this course. He's on the same pace that Puma and Smokey were, so unless something slows him down, looks like he is not going to have many issues. But he's on to the tilting tables. He gets a good angle on that, and he's up it. Obviously, Ump Double Ump is a very solid, very great jumper, if I have to admit it. Onto the flying skip, he takes the wedge, gets a save jump that will slow him down a little bit. He slows down, gets his bearings. He doesn't really care about time, he's just here to get through the course. Ump Double Ump through the rope climb and onto the second stage with 21 seconds to spare. This was a great run by Ump, and you can see the experience that he displays in every single run that he does. Handling this stage very, very well. giant swing was no problem for him. The rolling log, the rib cage, all of them were no problem for him. It takes confidence to go down the middle of the rib cage. That's the dangerous way, but he did it, and no obstacles on here were really any problem for him. Definitely another threat heading into the second stage. Double ump. And with that, we are on to Petrillo Fam 4. Now, here we have some results in the first tournament. He was, not a lot expected of him. He came out and he failed the catapult, and no one was really surprised. In the second tournament, he had number 2, showing how little I believed in him, and he is literally the sole reason why the catapult got scrapped, as you can see here. But Petrillo Fam did make it through the catapult that tournament with that awesome timer that's coming back next time. And he made it on to stage 2, kind of surprising everybody. The second person 2 tournaments in a row to clear at number 2. Petrillo Fam 4 was kind of, everywhere he went, he was expected to do worse than he did. And he was one of 8 to make it on to the third stage in the last tournament. And once again, defying expectations. Let me let the video catch up to me here, because he did make it through stage 2 just barely, but on stage 3 he once again defied expectations, where we all thought that he would go out pretty early, cliffhanger at best, but he was very solid through the flying bar, and then on through the cliffhanger. You can see he definitely had his techniques down. The cliffhanger was no problem for Petrillo, and he ran into his first problem on the flip-flop, but either way, he scored himself number 42, because he is one of the few people to even attempt the flip-flop. So, a deep stage 3 run like that, I mean, you defied expectations, sir. Now let's see if you can do it again. If he can get 2 stage 1 clears in a row, that's going to be great for his stock and jump. For his third attempt, let's see if he can get his second clear. On through the quadruple steps, hitting all of them real high. Not too fast, but really solid. Through the giant swing, no problems. Petrillo is a very stable jumper. You can see that he knows that he's very methodical. Some guys are good, but they're very loosey-goosey. Petrillo is not one of those guys. Petrillo is always very, he knows what he has to do, and you can see him go through his process, which I just personally find quite fascinating. And very solid, with a lot of precision, lands right on that pole, little save jump onto the tilting tables. So onto the first one, he fakes us out there for a second. Onto the first one, the second one. Now let's see where he lands here. Doesn't get a great tilt. He's the first person to not really get it on his first try, but he jumps on it and he gets some good height, and he actually cleared it better than I thought he was going to by looking at it. And the wedge here, he chooses and goes right up the middle. Not a lot of people have been taking the sides, but for Petrillo it doesn't matter, because Petrillo is on to the second stage once again with 19 seconds left. This was a very solid run. You could see that nothing, he never really looked in any danger. Even when the tilting tables didn't cooperate with him, he was fine. Look at him land on the giant swing, completely confident, right on through. And then on the rib cage, you can see here, right up the middle, I did very much like this. It just lands right on, sticks it, nails it. I love it. And then on through the head slide. And then the flying skip, nothing fancy, land on the wedge, get through. And on through the rope climb, and on to stage 2. Now our next competitor is also no slouch himself. This is Flame Vortex, or, oh man, he is Flamosaurus now. We don't call him Flame Vortex anymore. Now, also a very good competitor who is refusing to run the stage. I believe he made stage 3 last tournament, or no, he made stage 3. I think he failed the cliffhanger. But Flame is a very, very seasoned competitor these days, also very talented. most people put him up in the top 5 of the best jumpers right now. So let's see what one of the top 5 best jumpers right now can do on jump. This is his 3rd appearance since Flame competes on everything I ever make. And, oh, through the pole, maybe a little farther forward than I would have liked, but Flame is on, no problem. And he's onto the tilting tables into the first one. He got a big tilt on that first one. That's kind of weird. Oh, not ideal for Flame. That technique can cause you to fail, but Flame is through onto the flying skip, and he's going to use the pipe. One of only like 3 people to do that today, I think. And he is going to spring jump straight up. He doesn't even attempt the rope climb. So technically that's going to be a fail because Flame didn't attempt all the obstacles. Now, he's through with 27 seconds. This was a stellar run by Flame, and you can see just his experience all over the place. He has that side strafe technique on the rolling log, which I've never personally liked very much. I just don't. I think that's a weird way to do it. But the tilting tables was probably the weakest looking part of his run. But in this little spring jump here, there's a lot of style in that, and you gotta respect that here on the jump. Flame is going to be on to the 2nd stage. Next up on the course, we have Crown Ferret 19, more commonly referred to as Irish. He started his career way back in Halo Reach, and then he came to jump with not really a lot of success under his belt. In Tournament 1, he was one of surprisingly not a lot to handle the catapult, and then even less to make it onto stage 2. Irish here not only made it onto stage 2, but actually looked like a pretty well-respected, seasoned and accomplished veteran, despite, not quite having the respect that he thinks he deserves. He nailed the vault here, and, he just looked really solid on the whole stage. Wasn't fast, but you don't have to be fast. Now, Irish, this was his first stage 3 of all time, and he was just thrilled to be here, and after perhaps a little bit of bad luck on the Sidewinder, he struggled to land on that pole and went into the water. But Irish returned reinvigorated for the next tournament regardless, and I guess we're not showing that in the profile. He only managed to make it as far as the time travel in stage 2. So Irish is hoping to make it back to stage 3 because he knows he can make it there. He knows he belongs there. And, Irish is one of those jumpers who he hasn't quite reached his potential, but he knows that he can, and he thinks that jump is the place for him to do it. He's onto the giant swing, and he is now 3 for 3 on that obstacle. He's onto the rolling log for the first time. This can trick people up, but Irish is really not hesitating. He jumped into that thing with no worries at all. And Irish, one of our favorite competitors here on jump, he is quickly onto the I almost called it the catapult, the rib cage. I need to stop smoking crack. Anyway, he is taking his time on the rib cage, but he is through it. I believe only 2 people have failed the rib cage today, and Irish is not going to be the 3rd. Onto the tilting tables to see if he can be 3 for 3 on this obstacle as well. Gets a bad landing on there, but he knows how to handle this. Up the slope, and he is through. Irish's experience is showing here as he's onto the flying skip, the scariest obstacle on the stage by far. It's already taken out some good jumpers, but Irish is through onto the rope climb with 23 seconds left, and it looks like we are going to once again see Irish be a stage 2 competitor, making him 3 for 3 on the first stage. One of very few to do so, if any. Next up. Oh yeah, this is... I need to stop smoking crack. Irish, he just looked great on this whole stage. He looks better every single tournament, and it's been exciting to watch him get better. I mean, this is the hardest stage the jump has ever had, and he handled it. But we are now on to Sonic Fan, who in the last tournament made it to stage 3 and failed the flying bar. Kind of a little bit of a disappointing run for him, because he was definitely beating that flying bar in practice, but he thinks he can do better this time, and he is onto the giant swing. Alright, and like a dolphin, he is hopping through this course. You know, like dolphins dive out of the water, and he likes the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins, get it? But let's see if he can avoid swimming like a dolphin as he is onto the rib cage. He's going to take it right up the gut and nails the landing. He's going to go on the side. This has been a very popular technique this tournament. And he is on into the trampoline through the head slide. The rib cage has not really been a problem for many of these competitors. Now he is onto the tilting tables. He beat this in the last tournament. In the first tournament, he didn't even make it here. He failed the catapult. Went right through the net in tournament 1. Barely up the tilting tables. Sonic really almost just flies right through that. And he hits the top. And Sonic is in the water! Wow, are we going to get a replay on that? Sonic. Wow. Yeah, here we go. He hits it here. Let's see where his jump is. He times his jump well. Skips off the pipe. That is not recommended because he hit that corner on the top and it dropped him straight into the water. That's the same way that Ninja Jake failed earlier in the tournament, and it is a shame to see Sonic go out that way when we know that he has a stage 3 in him. But we are on to another promising competitor. This is Fireball. In tournament 1, he made it to stage 3 and failed the cliffhanger, I think. And in the last tournament, or he might have, he's been to stage 3 before. We've been through this. I don't have my results on me. So Fireball here is onto the giant swing very quickly, and he is handling it very well. He's definitely a threat for stage 3, as he is with any course that he competes on. This is his first punch on the rolling log, goofing it up a little bit. So he's not going quite as fast as he's sometimes known to be going. But he is on to the ribcage with about a minute left. He knows what technique he's going to do, and he lands on the side. That's going to save him some time. Not that he really needs it. The time limit on this is kind of lenient. But he is on through the head slide and onto the tilting tables. He's beaten this obstacle before. He knows what to do. And after it was misbehaving a little bit, he kind of checked it in place. Pulls back his jump and lands not quite where he wants to. Doesn't quite know what technique he's going to take. And Fireball, oh, very risky. He got really high up on there. And he's onto the flying skip. He's done things like this before. And it looks like he's going... Eventually, he's going to be going up into the head slide. And he is into the head slide. He tries to go for the side platform. That is not what you want to do. You cannot make it there from the middle head slide. That's just kind of a blunder by Fireball, something we don't see out of him a lot. You can see definitely he had some trepidation about where he was going to go, but then he was going up the middle, and then he pulled himself to the left to try to make it there, but you cannot get the height there. You cannot get that height. That is just a little bit too much, and Fireball goes out for that costly mistake. But now we have one of the better competitors, one of the best, I should say, on jump. We have Strafe Helix, who in tournament 1, he had a shocking performance where he blasted through the first 2 stages. You can see here, no problem at all for him. Right on to stage 3. Now, there were a lot of great competitors on stage 3, but believe it or not, Strafe was the one to stand out as he made it to the last jump of the stage. You can see here he tried a risky technique. It did not pay off, and in the next tournament, jump 2, he came back and he attempted to make it back to stage 3 to rectify that mistake, but he overshot the vault ball. So after that costly mistake, after going out way earlier than he anticipated, can Strafe reclaim that reputation that he garnered in the first tournament? Can Strafe be the guy that he looked like in tournament 1? Can he be the guy who doesn't make those mistakes? We've seen already today that mistakes can just really cost you a lot in this tournament. But he's onto the giant swing. All the time for Hypothesis is about to be put to the test, and he is onto the rolling log quite quickly. Hits it very nicely. He's done obstacles like this in the past, obviously, and he takes a jump. Great technique there, and he's onto the rib cage. right onto the trampoline, hits it right in the middle, lands on the clover. He's going right up the gut. And all right, and he is on through the head slide and Strafe Helix onto the tilting tables. First one handled nicely, second one handled nicely, and onto the third one, he lands right on the edge. Does not get the tilt that he needs. Perhaps a little bit of bad luck for him there. Can he get the lift? Oh, he does. Not by a lot, but he does get it. And right over the first pole, he's into the middle head slide. Nothing fancy for Strafe today. Right down the middle. No problem. And Strafe is on to the second stage with 26 seconds left on the clock. This was a very solid run from a very solid competitor, someone that we know should have no problem with this stage. And his chances this tournament are already looking good. I mean, he really wants to get back and get revenge on the second stage, and then he really wants to get back to the third stage and get revenge on stage 3. Although the pegboard is no longer there, but we'll get to there in the third episode, assuming that we make it to stage 3. And now here is Weapon Matt. In the first tournament, Weapon Matt had a very odd failure on stage 1, where he attempted the catapult, and somehow when he hit the net, he was shot sideways, which I don't really fully understand exactly how that happened. But in the second tournament, he managed to recover and make it all the way back to stage 3, going out on the flip-flop, which is a great attempt. So Matt is definitely one of the ones here where we can see him making it really far. And we would like to see him make it back to stage 3 and perhaps make it even farther into the stage than he did before. He's definitely, of the last year, he has far and away been the most successful jumper. The camera can't even keep up with him because he's so fast. He's dominated everybody's course. He's gotten total victories left and right, final stages left and right, third stages, no problem. This man has rarely seen a stage 1 that he can't really handle. But let's see if he can handle the flying skip, because it has already taken out some very, very good competitors. And he seems a little unsure about himself, and he lands on the wedge. He's straight in. That was almost too low. That was almost detrimental for Weapon Matt. That was a very, we'll look at it again in the replay. He clears with 26 seconds, no problem onto the second stage. But here, let's take a look here at this flying skip again, because this really scared me. I thought he was going in the water. You see, he landed on the wedge, and then just immediately, you can see that head slide barely grabbed him, just barely. He barely grazed the threshold he needed. But either way, he's on, and now we have Chumpy, another very successful competitor on jump. I believe in the first tournament, he failed the vault ball on stage 2, and then in the last tournament, I believe he went out on stage 3. Yeah, he failed the flip-flop on stage 3 in jump 2. And plus, when I ran this tournament, Chumpy was, his stock was really high, so that's why he ended up being number 49. He's definitely somebody who I think could give this course a real challenge. So he's going to be in high numbers. Those guys that I really think are the competitors. I don't have a lot of recency bias in my numbers. I just mainly base it on, the top 10 especially. I want those to be the 10 most dangerous competitors on the course. And Chumpy is on to the side slide. Very, I guess if you can do it, do it. But that looked risky. He clears with 26 seconds left. And Chumpy is going to be on to stage 2 for his third time in a row. So yeah, it's not just Irish that did it. Chumpy at least has done it. Yeah, no problem for Chumpy. Very quick run. I know those 30 plus clears that we were getting earlier kind of makes this run look slow, but it's really not. Chumpy really, All right, next up we have RPG 445, a very anticipated run. As in the last tournament, he got first place, which was an improvement over his vault ball failure in the first tournament, where he just could not quite hang on to that. In the third tournament, he came back with perhaps not a lot of expectation because we thought we had seen the best of what ROG had to offer us. But he made it through the first stage, made it through the second stage, and next thing we knew, he was on to his first stage 3 attempt. The world was his oyster, so to speak, and we had no idea what he was about to offer to us, but ROG was able to defeat even the dreaded Cliffhanger, which did a little bit of damage last tournament, and ROG managed to make it on to the flip-flop and all the way with a rocket strapped to his back onto the pegboard. However, he overjumped it, did not make it as far as Strafe did in Tournament 1, but still, that got him first place, which means that he is in prime, he is in prime position to be able to just, he's going for the glory. He's going for that crown. Underestimating ROG is just in this tournament, in any tournament, he's not the jumper he used to be. Once upon a time, ROG was not known to be clearing stages left and right, but he's shown in the last couple of years that he's not to be trifled with, and ROG is quickly on through the quadruple steps into the giant swing. None of these obstacles are going to confuse him. He's been jumping for years and years now, and he's quickly onto the rolling log. Misses the first hit, but he's on through it. Ooh, it kind of gets a little sketchy on that first roll, but no problem for ROG. He just rolls it on down, no problem. He's taking a sideways approach onto the rib cage, and he lands on the side. Not a lot of people have just gone directly there today, but it saves a lot of time. And ROG is on through the head slide, and he's on to the tilting tables. Now ROG here, he's done this 2 times before. I don't think that it's going to be any problem for him today. His biggest foe is yet to come. Oh, a little bit dangerous there, but he is on to the flying skip. Now, he is on through it, backs up a little bit. That's the safe way to do it. No problem for ROG. Despite how dangerous that obstacle can be, ROG was not intimidated. Now let's go down and take a look at this replay and check out exactly how our most promising competitor managed to handle this course. I really liked what he did here on the rolling log. Like, look at that. He just rides it the whole way up. That is confidence to be able to do a rolling obstacle like that. And then on the rib cage, he went on the side. That's not easy to do. I mean, ROG was really showing his ability there, not in a flashy way, but like if you know what you're talking about, you can look at this run and tell that is a skilled jumper as bullets fly in his direction. It is good to see ROG make it back on to stage 2, and hopefully he can return to stage 3 and perhaps attempt to make it to the final. But everybody, that is the end of the episode. We had 12 clears today, which is more than last tournament, but we also had twice as many competitors, so the percentage there is mwah. We had Booker Taco, Alpha Puma, Hunter Unit, Smokey Massacre, Ump Petrillo Fam, Flamosaurus, Crown Ferret 19, Strafe Helix, Weapon Matt, Chumpy, and RPG 445, all making it onto the second stage. And we are going to see how they do in the second episode, and I'm very excited to do so because I think that it's going to be a doozy. Depending on how long it is, stage 2 might be 1 episode, it might be stage 2 and 3 if people make it there. But we'll see about that, all right? So, until next time, everybody just have a wonderful day.